Hello and welcome back to Philosophy 101 at Kennebec Valley Community College with Mrs. B. Please step into my kitchen and let's continue our discussion of God. So last week we talked about the argument from design, which is also known as the watchmaker argument, and we read Paley. This week we are going to be discussing a challenge to the idea of the existence of God called the problem of evil. And to address the problem of evil, we will be reading 18th century Scottish philosopher David Hume. Now, David Hume was writing at a time where it was illegal to be an atheist, and it was actually punishable by death. So Hume does not come out and say that there is no God or that he's an atheist. Instead, Hume has written a Socratic dialogue between three characters. We'll be reading part 10 of that dialogue. And his three characters discuss the problem of evil and why evil exists and why God would allow such suffering. I believe it's the best description I've found of the exact problem of evil. In addition to this reading by Hume, which is scanned from a textbook because I don't want a textbook for this class to save you some money and some hassle. So it's a scanned copy, which is online. And we also have another Crash Course Philosophy video with Hank Green. Hank Green discusses the problem of evil and discusses several responses to it. Both the Hume reading and the Crash Course Philosophy video are required. In addition to the required texts and videos, we have several optional supplementary texts and videos. There is another 3-minute philosophy video about Hume, which is a nice overview, but it does contain adult language like all the previous 3-minute philosophy videos, and it is not required. In addition to this, there's an essay by modern theologian and philosopher John Hicks. In the Crash Course Philosophy video, Hank Green mentions John Hicks as someone who offers a solution to the problem of evil. This essay by Hicks is fantastic, it's very thoughtful, and if the course were just 1 week longer, it would be required. But we're going to run out of time when we start our discussion of free will and our discussion of the ideal human society. So I'm putting the John Hicks reading in this folder as an optional supplement. It is fascinating. I also wanted to note that there is a slight misconception in the Crash Course Philosophy video where Hank Green says John Hicks describes the world as a soul-making place. All the evil that exists in the world is intentional because our purpose is to develop, to become closer to God. But the narrator of Crash Course Philosophy says this doesn't explain all the evil in the world. And that's a fair point. However, in his essay, John Hicks postulates that there must be an afterlife to solve that problem. So, as usual with philosophy, once you dive into the original texts, you find that the thoughts and the ideas are even more nuanced than they first appeared. So, this week we are reading David Hume, we are watching Crash Course Philosophy, and you have the optional supplemental reading by Jonathan Hicks. We also have a discussion post, and I really look forward to hearing your thoughts about the problem of evil. Finally, we are coming up on our first big essay. Next week, we will be writing the essay, but I did include the essay assignment sheet in this week's folder. If you see the essay assignment sheet, please take a deep breath and don't panic. We will have lots of time to write the essay. We are going to focus on writing the essay next week, and then we will be doing peer reviews. You have another 2 weeks before the essay is due. But if you're interested, the assignment sheet is in this week's folder. As usual, please let me know if you have any questions. Take care.